The seeds of spring. It was a Saturday afternoon and I was standing in the overgrown yard outside my home. The dandelions were blooming, they were everywhere, and I hated them. I'd never liked the flowers, not because of their appearance, but because of how they made me feel. It wasn't an allergy. There was something about them that unsettled me. It was the way they spread, fast, relentless. How they crept into every crack in the sidewalk, every forgotten patch of dirt. How no one else seemed to care. It made the yard feel smaller, like the world outside of it had blurred away into nothing. I could never convince anyone else that it felt wrong. My mother called me ridiculous. My dad told me I'd grow out of it. I remember kicking at one of them, watching the white fuzz burst apart in a soft explosion of seeds. They caught the air, drifting up, slow and weightless. Too slow. The breeze had died down, but the spores stayed floating motionless in the air. A shiver crawled up my spine. It wasn't normal. They should have scattered randomly, floated off like they always did. Instead, they moved together like something had drawn them in my direction. Then the first one landed on my skin. It was nothing at first, just the light brush of something weightless against my arm. But then came the warmth, not the sun's warmth, not the heat of a summer afternoon, this was different. It spread in a slow, creeping wave, sinking beneath my skin. I gasped and stumbled backward, rubbing at my arm, but the sensation didn't fade. I took a shaky breath, shaking my arm as if I could fling the sensation off, but it clung to me, sinking past the surface. The dandelion seed still hung in the air. Not floating. Not drifting. Suspended. I frowned, stepping back. It wasn't right. Even in still air, they should have moved. But they didn't. They hung there, motionless, as if waiting for something. Then, just as I had the thought, they moved, not all at once, not scattered by a sudden gust of wind. They shifted as one, turning midair, twisting until they were facing me. The warmth in my arm wasn't fading, it was spreading, curling through my veins like something living. I clutched at my skin, pressing my fingers into the heat, but it didn't help. It only made me more aware of it, of the slow, pulsing sensation beneath my fingertips. The dandelion seeds shifted again. They weren't just facing me anymore. They were moving toward me. I froze. The word had pressed into my mind, quiet but undeniable. Not spoken. Not heard. Just there. Breathe. I stood there motionless, the swirling figure in front of me pulsed, its shape bending and unraveling like thread in the wind. The seeds, though weightless, felt heavier now, pressing against my skin, my lungs, and my mind. Breathe, it said again. I didn't want to, I clamped my mouth shut, my chest tightening as I held my breath. But the warmth in my arm throbbed, curling deeper, reaching places it shouldn't. My fingers dug into my skin, the